Have you ever wanted the Motive Ball Guide except for a different company? Well, today, an amazing viewer put together a chart based on Storm's website of a Motive Ball Guide, but for Storm bowling balls instead. So let's dig right into what all of those are. First, I want to give the biggest shout out to Victor Reyes, who jumped in my emails and sent me this incredible chart. Huge thank you to Victor for putting all these numbers together for where these Storm bowling balls fit on this chart. We'll mention in a minute how he got these numbers. But if you're new here and want to keep seeing guides like this to help you pick the best bowling ball for your game, make sure to drop a subscription, make sure to drop a like. It's the best way to help support the channel and show that you enjoy these kinds of videos. On Storm's website, what we have is when we have a ball, if you scroll all the way to the bottom after all of the marketing stuff, you're going to see this nice little chart. And this is where all the numbers are from. This chart from Storm is a 1 to 10 scale based on flare potential, ball shape, hook length, etc., etc. Victor used all of these numbers to create the chart that we are about to look at. And here is our overall SPI ball chart. What you're going to see is on the left side, on the y-axis, you are going to see heavy oil, medium oil, and light oil. The higher up a bowling ball is, the better it is for that heavier oil. The lower it is, the better it is for lighter oil. You're going to notice a lot of asymmetrical balls at the top half of the graph and a lot of symmetricals on the bottom half. This is all very similar to what we use on the channel already to categorize bowling balls. Then on that x-axis, we're going to see smooth, medium, and angular. That's going to determine the ball shape that the ball is going to have when it sees friction. So those smoother bowling balls are generally going to be your solids. They're a little smoother, a little rounder, a little more controllable. The right side is going to be a lot of the pearl bowling balls, a lot more angle, a lot more kick down lane when you need to play further left. So let's go into what we can see with this chart and why there's a few interesting quirks. So you're going to notice that there are a ton of low-end bowling balls from Storm Bowling right now. You're going to look in that bottom right part of the chart. You're going to see the Hustles, the Road Warrior, the High Road. You're going to see the Ember and the IQ-AI all down there. Now, this is where I want to put my first preface, is some of these numbers seem very odd at the end of the day. One of my biggest questions is how they have the Ember below the IQ-AI. The Ember definitely is stronger, which is odd. I can confirm that is very much a step above an IQ-AI, but it's really weird that they ended up putting it here. Now, I don't know how much time Storm is spending on the chart they use on the website. That's something none of us can actually confirm or really know unless you're an employee at Storm doing it. So these numbers could be incorrect. These numbers are being created from them, probably from their own lab, from their own lanes. So depending on the lane surfaces, this can all change. But in my opinion, that Ember should really be a step up in that medium oil category, or it should be further left compared to that IQ-AI. So I think there's a few quirks here where, like, is the Ember at the same oil level or can control the same amount of oil as something like a High Road 40? No, I think you can have both of those and be fine. You could even have an Ember and a Road Warrior and be fine. So there's a few little quirks in here. Similarly, the Phase AI and the Zen 25 do not belong in the same category. I think the Zen 25 should be a step up from where the Phase AI is, but I digress. Looking at it, there's a ton of Pearl bowling balls from Storm Bowling at this point in time. This is everything that's on the market right now. So really interesting. I didn't even realize this, how many Pearl balls there truly are. Everything on that right half generally is a Pearl ball, except for the Origin EX. I don't know why that's in the middle slot like that. I think it should be further left personally, but Storm's chart, whatever. So we see a lot of Pearl bowling balls. What you can do, though, as a consumer is you look at this chart and you can say, hey, I see an Equinox. I have an Equinox. We have that way up there. Well, do I need an Origin? Man, it's right next to it. I don't know if I do. So you can then say, well, how about we get a Physics Blackout instead? That's a little smoother. You're going to notice there's a few gaps in between the Equinox and the Physics, which means it's A-okay. So you probably don't want bowling balls right next to each other. Gremlin and Attention Star, you don't need both of them. This chart really helps showcase that. If you have a Gremlin, you can go down to like an Ember, and then you can notice a little bit bigger of a difference between your bowling balls, so you're not buying the same bowling ball twice. Similarly, Rockstar and Phase 2, you don't need both of them. They're very similar, especially even on the chart, they're very similar, so you only need one or the other. The Cove being a step below makes sense. Being smoother than the Ion Pro also makes sense. It's always funny to see this Ion Pro Solid being sharper than the OG Ion Pro, even though the Ion Pro Solid is the same thing but solid. So very odd. I am also assuming that all of this is based on box surface. They aren't changing any of the surfaces. They're just doing what they think is best, which is that box surface. You see the IQ Tour actually the lone ball in that light oil category anywhere left of that middle area. Storm doesn't really have many light oil bowling balls that are super smooth. They even have the Hustle Earth further right on the category. I was a little surprised to see that, where I thought that Hustle Earth would be further to the left, like right below that Cove. So a little bit odd. I think that could be one place where it fits, but otherwise it's very interesting. Now, we can predict now, seeing a couple gaps here, that those are gaps that Storm is going to fill sometime soon. I would assume that the next couple bowling balls that come out are going to fill this medium heavy slot between the RST Hyperdrive and that Gremlin. We're going to see a couple of bowling balls fitting there. Is it going to be an RST Hyperdrive Pearl? I don't know. I know it's on the USB-C approved ball list, and today is August 23rd. This video probably will be coming out after the next Storm announcement, so if that Hyperdrive Pearl happens to be on it, cool, it probably answered my question. If not, I would expect something there sometime in the near future. There is a pretty big gap there. However, I think then it's a very complete ball guide at the end of the day. Storm has a lot of their bases covered, so we're going to see a few of these bowling balls disappearing. Something like a Road Warrior might be going soon. Something like an Attention Star S2 might be going soon, and then those spots will slowly then get filled. Let me know down below, are there any spots on this list that you want covered, that you want filled right now? Do you see gaps in that Storm lineup that you think there need to be bowling balls for? Let me know. Let me know if you need like an Ember Solid or an Ion Pro Pearl or a new Phase AI that's actually good. Sorry, Phase AI, it's really not a great ball. But let me know if there's any other categories that you think should be filled here and what kind of bowling balls could actually fit those. So let's go to the bottom of this list quick. The urethane category. This is something that I added last second. So if it is wrong, this isn't on Victor, that one's completely on me. Because the IQ78 and the Pitch Black are down there on that urethane camp. After looking at the numbers, Storm has their numbers nearly identical. It says the IQ78 should be used for slightly heavier oil than that Pitch Black. And that's mainly because of the core. The core in that IQ78 is stronger than the core on the Pitch Black. So that's why it's down there. But those are the only two urethanes we have. And due to all the urethane stuff going on right now, I don't assume we're going to have any more urethanes anytime in the near future. We also didn't have the level on here. The level was kind of in a weird spot, so that is excluded right now. But looking at the chart, this is everything we have. Make sure to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to post this in my Discord. Make sure to go check out my Discord down below in the description so that you have an easy way to be able to access this. Let me know, though, what you think of this if you want us to continue doing this for SPI as we also showcase the Motive one. But otherwise, I want to thank you guys all for watching. I will see you on the next one.